Hello and welcome to another match reaction show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. Where do we begin? After two great wins against Bournemouth and Liverpool, I'll be honest, I was quite excited going into this Merseyside derby. But again, it's like probably like how it was a couple of weeks ago. Another average performance where I don't believe we capitalized on the chances that we had. And we really didn't have a killer instinct in front of goal. But let's get into the key points of the game and some of the highlights that I feel like stood out when I was watching this game. So first half, I think Everton started off the more positive out of the two teams. They had most of the possession, I think, in the opening 10 to 15 minutes. Morpay was very close to scoring in the 7th minute with a shot. Unfortunately for him, it was hit wide. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who had a very quiet game. It was really weird watching him because I felt like the atmosphere got to him a little bit because it was a very lively crowd, which you expect in a Merseyside derby, and especially at Goodison Park. But I don't know, he felt a bit off, just felt off his game today. I felt like he was affected by the atmosphere. Just wasn't really his true self during this game. Nevertheless, he did have a moment in the game, especially in the first half, where he produced a great cross to Núñez, who tried to head the ball from the far post on target, but it went wide. Poorly executed header, to say the least. Gordon, who I'm sure a lot of Everton fans are happy that has stayed with the club this season and didn't join Chelsea in the window, had a snapshot in the 22nd minute, which was comfortably saved by Alisson. Tsimikas, who was in the starting lineup instead of Robertson today, which for me was a good decision. I've been saying it for a week or so now that I think Robertson needs a bit of a break and Tsimikas should be given a start, and he got that today. He was fouled in the 26th minute, elbowed by Gordon. That led to him producing a free kick where Diaz was very close to making contact and hopefully scoring, but unfortunately it didn't happen for him. He didn't really get that contact and didn't trouble the keeper. Davis was probably the closest one to scoring in the first half, where he hit the post. Very, very close. For me, he should have scored based on the position that he was in the box. I think maybe if he just blasted it rather than using the outside of his foot would have been a better option. But nevertheless, still hit the post, nearly got the goal. It wasn't to be for him. Núñez was able to get another header around the 39th minute. Better connection in terms of the execution of the header, but over the bar. But then there was a moment, an explosive moment, just before the second half where Liverpool had a double chance. Núñez, great run on the right-hand side, produced a fantastic shot. Pickford, who was probably man of the match, got a fingertip save onto the bar. Diaz was able to collect the ball, shot with a lot of venom, hit the post. I thought it was going in, but unfortunately, as it hit the inside of the post, it came out. So that was the best chance for Liverpool in the first half. And at that stage, you'd say it's the fair result going into the second half. Second half, unfortunately for Fabio Carvalho, who made his debut today, he was injured. I think it was a challenge. I think it was with Onana. I think it was. It looks like a dead leg. So Klopp came afterwards and said that it's not a huge concern, but I don't think he'll be playing the next fixture, which is against Napoli on Wednesday. So unfortunately for youngster, he must have had a lot of high hopes going into this game, make his debut. But he was very quiet during the game. I don't think he made much of an impression. Had one or two good touches, but didn't really trouble the opposition's midfield. Didn't really do anything in the attacking third. So unfortunately for him, not the best of games to have started. But nevertheless, for Liverpool, they brought on Firmino, and it was a formation switch to a 4-2-3-1, which, again, I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, is the formation I feel like we should be deploying going forward because of the injury crisis we have. We have a lack of midfielders. the midfielders that are available are predominantly defensive. I was thinking of Henderson, but he's injured now. So we've got Fabinho and Milner, who would occupy those two positions. You've got a new signing, Arthur Melo, but the thing is, he will take time to embed into the lineup, but also getting used to his new surroundings or new style of play. You know, he's coming from Juventus where they don't really press as much as a Klopp team, for example. So he won't be playing straight away, in my opinion. And you've got who's not Naby Keita's injured again. You know, I've made a couple videos about Naby Keita and my thoughts on him. Probably seems that I have an agenda against him, but he's never available. So for me, it's just a frustrating player to have in the squad. It's pretty much non-existent. So you think he's coming back, and then he gets injured again, and that's literally happened so many times. It's getting quite boring now. So I'm not going to vent about Naby Keita anymore. Jones is available, Keita is available, Thiago is still injured. So we've got quite a few midfielders that aren't available right now. So I feel like a 4-2-3-1 formation would suit us based on the fact that we've got Elliot, Carvalho, and Bobby who can play a number 10 role. So I don't know, maybe something Klopp will look into, as I feel like we were a lot better in the second half. Firmino had an impact straight away. I think the opening 10 minutes, he just made things tick with his movement, finding little pockets in certain areas, and he was able to make a move for Nunes where he also had a snapshot outside the box, which was comfortably saved by Pickford. Then we had a double sub on the 58th minute. So I mentioned earlier, I don't think Trent had the best of games, but I was very surprised to see the substitution of Trent and Tsimikas together. Tsimikas, okay, fine. Maybe it was more of a fitness thing as he hasn't played regular games. But with Trent, it was Milner who was like for like replacement. For me, that was not what I wanted to see. I did not want to see Milner at right back. That shouldn't happen anymore. He's 37, 38 years old. He should not be playing fullback at all. He should only be a midfield option, in my opinion. I know we have an injury crisis, but nevertheless, at that stage, he probably should have just switched Gomez onto the right and then Matip at centre back, which he did 20 minutes later. But I feel like at that moment of time, that's when it should have been done, not later in the game. Because Everton were very close to scoring with Milner playing right back. They had 2 counter attacks where we could have been exposed. I believe there was one moment where Demarai Gray was running on the left-hand side. Morpay had a point-blank shot, and it was a fantastic block by Alisson. Most goalkeepers would have stood and then tried to dive and try and second-guess where that striker is going to hit the ball. But he stood firm and stood strong, and he made a fantastic save in the end. And then moments later, another counter-attack through that same channel, which basically led to Morpay getting the ball, through ball to Gordon, and he hit the side netting. I think it was for a corner. So, yeah, not the best of moments for Milner, to say the least. And that led to the corner, which Connor Cody thought he had scored the opening goal and scoring on his debut, I believe, as well, which was ruled out for offside by VAR, which was the correct decision in the end. Interesting celebration from a former Red. I know he was a little Everton fan growing up, but he played for Liverpool as well. So, you know, it is what it is. But I think the fans at the stadium, the Liverpool fans, certainly enjoyed that the goal was chalked off just based on how he celebrated. So, I guess a little bit of a silver lining regarding that moment there. Patterson, who for me had a very solid game for Everton, was close to scoring as well. Drives into the box from a deep position, hits a shot that got blocked by Van Dijk. So another chance there for Everton. And then moments later, Fabinho had a shot, half volley, I remember as well. That was parried away by Pickford. And there was a moment where Bobby Firmino had 2 shots in like a space of 20 seconds. And Pickford to the rescue again for them. So Pickford, as you can tell, very busy goalkeeper in this game and probably deserved the man of the match in my opinion. Jota and Matic came on, but it was Everton sub who made an impact straight away. It was Dwight McNeil, who's been signed from Burnley, hits a lovely curled shot, and it was fantastically saved by Alisson again. Firmino was close to scoring, Another good save by Pickford. And then Demarai Gray had a chance late on in the final minutes of the game, which was saved. But then it was Mo Salah who I thought maybe would have got the winner here. Hits the post. Very, very unlucky. And yep, that's the tale of the whole match. Two goalkeepers who were on form, made plenty of saves. And I think both were man of the match if you had to choose between the two teams. So overall, a fair result, I think. I don't think Liverpool played better than Everton or deserved a win. Everton, for me, did really well. They had stuck to their game plan, played in sort of deeper positions whenever they were pushed by Liverpool, and that led to quite a number of counterattacks, which was sort of their main source of scoring today. I thought maybe aerial challenges in corners would have been to the way of them scoring. I know Cody got a goal in the corner, but I don't think they used that to their advantage in this game. But yeah, I think Everton stand-up performers. I think Patterson, a young fullback from Scotland, I think he looked really good, really solid, very aggressive in his play. So a good signing for them. Demarai Gray playing on the right-hand side, normally plays on the left, but I think occupying Gordon on the other flank, I think he did a good job. Morpay on his debut did some good, had some good moments. I think he maybe needs to improve his game a little bit in terms of finding space or running the channels a bit more. I think he occupies the central area a bit too much. If he was to attack the channels a bit more, it'll probably stretch teams further. So that's something for him to work on. And Gordon had a good game as well. Substituted, I think, on around the 8th minute. So yeah, not too bad in regards to that. Just got a couple of comments here. I've got a comment from Madison Smith. Thank you, Madison, for joining the show. Can you see this Liverpool team winning multiple games in a row like previous years? I can't see them making up the ground to challenge for the league. It is early, but I can't see right now with the games we have seen. Good point, Madison. At this stage, no, just because of the number of injuries we have right now, we're not able to string a solid midfield. I think that's our weak area right now, where we're playing different players in different games. And unfortunately, every game there's a casualty. So today was Fabio Carvalho, who was probably not ready to play in the starting lineup, in my opinion. So at this stage, I think once we get the players back or a number of players back, we'll be able to win multiple games like we have. The thing is, our team, because of the quality we do have, we are capable of winning a lot of games in a row. But at this stage, it's very difficult because of the injury crisis that we have. In regards to the challenge for the league, I still have to have high hopes. I think we will challenge for the league, but I will say this: I don't think Liverpool being second is secured as well. I think we are in a top four battle. I think there's a lot of teams that have strengthened, like Arsenal and Tottenham, that look really, really good right now. So Chelsea have made quite a few acquisitions as well. United fans are excited about their new signings. So top four is not secured in my eyes for any team, probably bar Man City, the way Haaland's playing right now. But yeah, it's not looking good. I know we won 9-0 against Bournemouth, which was a walk in the park. Last minute winner against Newcastle. But yes, until we don't get not even our starting 11, because it's not even just the starting 11. We've got a lot of squad players that aren't available as well. So once we get some players back from injury, I think we'll be able to mount better challenges and hopefully get some consecutive wins in the row. So yeah, long season ahead. But at this stage, bit of a roller coaster ride for Liverpool fans. You know, we have two great wins and a draw. So right now, yeah, it is what it is at this stage. But yes, in terms of Liverpool, so let's try and be a bit positive for Liverpool. So the positive from this game for me is that I like the way we played when we switched to a 4-2-3-1. I think that is the formation we should be looking at going forward. Consecutively, I don't know if Klopp will play that formation every game. It will be depending on the opposition. But right now, I don't think he has much of a choice based on the profile players we have in our squad. So yeah, that's a positive for me. I think also the return of Jota, even though he had a small cameo, I was really impressed with his movement, and I feel like he made a great impression. So it would be nice to see him playing for the team very soon. So yeah, nothing more than that in terms of positives. But what I'll do now, I'll give player ratings to kind of analyze each player in terms of how I think they did today. So Allison, I'm going to give him 8 out of 10. I think he made some crucial saves in this game that probably saved us and got us the point. I think if it was another game, another time, maybe even another keeper, we probably would have lost that game. So yeah, I'm giving 8 out of 10 for Allison. Trent for me was poor. I'm giving him a 4. I don't think he did well at all today. Wasn't really troubled defensively, but in terms of in attacking form, I don't think he did much either. So for me, that he gets a 4. Joe Gomez for me, a 7. I think he was very solid today. Made a couple wayward passes in the latter stages, but throughout the whole game, really strong in his play. Made some good tackles, especially against Gordon. I remember on the right hand side later in the game. So for me, definitely did really well. Van Dijk for me did okay. Didn't do anything spectacular. I think he's still getting up to his speed. Um, but didn't have any moments where I was worried in possession or his overall play. But I don't think he was better than Gomez, for example, in this situation. So I would give him a 6 out of 10. Simicast making his first start, I think, of the season in this game. Did well. I think second half, especially the opening 10, 15 minutes, he really tried to attack that left-hand flank, tried to get a few crosses in. Wasn't as effective as I would have liked, but overall had a decent game. For me, I'd say a 6, just like his role. He's a number 6. Didn't do great. Didn't do awful either. Just had a solid performance in the end. Elliot, for me, had some good touches in the first half where I think he was trying to make things work. But in the second half, he was non-existent. I don't actually remember seeing much of him on the ball. So I'll give him a 5 for this game. Carvalho, a bit harsh to rank him because he was injured at halftime. But based on his first half performance, I'd give him a 5 as well. I don't think he did anything spectacular. Salah was very, very quiet. Uh, had his moment towards the latter stage of the game where he nearly got the winner. But yeah, too quiet for me. I think he didn't really challenge the fullback that much. And even when he went into central areas, didn't really look like making any attempts on goal. It was really weird. He would have the ball. I feel like there's a couple moments where normally he'd have a touch and then he'll have a shot straight away, especially on the outside of the box on the right hand side. But today, just I don't know. I don't feel like it was in his rhythm to do those kind of shots today. So I'd give him a 5. Nunes for me was quite poor. Had a decent chance just before halftime. Hold up play wasn't really good today. Yeah, I think he was trying too hard to impress, but the thing is, he wasn't even getting the basics right. So yeah, looks a bit naive in terms of his overall play. I think he's got a lot of work to live up to that price tag. But long season ahead, so we'll see how it goes for him. Diaz, I'd give him a 5. I think he was quiet. Nearly scored before the second half, but did have moments here where he would dribble and trouble the fullback, but not enough for me because I think Patterson had a fantastic game this morning/afternoon. Firmino, I'd give him a 7. I think he had a positive impact when he came on as a sub at half time. Definitely made the attacking play of our team better. Definitely improved our play, but and had some great chances. I just think one or two of the chances I feel like he should have scored. A bit more power. Some of the efforts were quite tame, in my opinion. But overall, I think he had a great impact coming on as a sub. Milner, I've given him a 4. I think he was poor when he came on. Not his fault entirely in terms of his legs because he was just getting outrun by a younger opposition. So he got paced out by Damari Gray and Gordon, who are very quick players. So yeah, Klopp for me made an error to play him in the right back position. I don't know why he did that. Should just switch to Gomez and put Matip in early in the game, and I think we would have been in a better position going forward. So I think that was a poor error on Klopp's part. Putting him at right back did make no sense. And Elliot, as I mentioned as well, was very quiet, wasn't doing much. I feel like that was the right time to take Elliot off rather than 10, 15, 20 minutes later. So yeah, I would say that's a poor call from Klopp there. Robertson, when he came on, had a few moments here. They didn't do much, in my opinion, so I'd give him a 5. Matip didn't really do much to give him a ranking or much of an impression. I'll give him a 5 just to give him a number, to say the least. Jota, I'll give him a 5 as well. I think when he came on, he knows his role. He knows how to play with the front line. So he was quite equipped to just come on and do his thing. Tried to set up a couple chances for the players going forward, but it just wasn't to be for him. So yeah. Overall, disappointing draw, but we have to move forward and look ahead to the next game. So our next game is in the Champions League against Napoli on Wednesday, and then we have Wolves next Saturday. So hopefully by then we should have some bodies back in the squad. At this stage, I don't know how close Jones is. I think he's on the verge of returning to training. Thiago, I still believe, is out for a longer period of time. Keita, I don't think will be available. Don't know when he will be available. Yeah, bit disappointing in terms of the signing of Melo. So I haven't really touched on the transfer as I've been on holiday, so I've just returned. I feel like I've missed out on so many things in the space of a week. But in terms of Melo as our signing, definitely a surprise one, because not the type of player I would have expected Klopp to have gone for, because Klopp normally likes players who are a bit more combat in terms of style of play, a bit more industrious, and players that like to press. I think with Arthur Melo, he's not the most sort of agile or competitive sort of midfielder in his play. Well, I say that, but then I remember when he started for Barcelona, when he first joined the club, he was very, very tenacious in his play. So I just feel like I don't know what version of Arthur Melo we're going to get. Are we going to get the one that got signed from Brazil, or are we going to get the one that's not really done much at Juventus the last 2-3 years? So in terms of the signing, in terms of the bigger picture, I don't think it's a bad signing to make. Look, we've been saying that we need a midfielder, so I'd rather be a player of his quality or caliber rather than signing a random championship player like a Ben Davies that we did last year. So I'm pleased that we've got a body in, but he's not a signing that excites me a lot, if that makes sense. I think if we can get him to full fitness, and if Klopp can work on his sort of overall play in terms of pressing, because I think that will be how it will be used, I think, for our team. So I think what we lack in our team is when Thiago's out, we don't really have a player who can get the ball, dribble, and make things happen. I think he would be a good player to have to play as a backup for Thiago, but also can play alongside Thiago, as I know he's quite equipped to play on the left or the right hand side of a centre mid. So look, I'm not going to dismiss him and say, oh, he's a poor signing. Some have said he's a panic buy. Don't want to say he's a panic buy, but I would say that it was an astute signing in terms of we needed someone on the short term, and I think he was the best player available at that stage. So look, he's a Liverpool player, so he's going to get my full support. I'm hoping he does well. I think a lot of people expected the deal to just be a loan and that's it. From what I believe, there is an option to buy him at the end as well. So I think the fee is around 35 million. So if he does well, fantastic. Maybe he's Naby Keita's replacement, who I don't expect to sign a new contract. Well, maybe I'm hoping, but I don't think he will. So he could be his replacement in the squad. So yeah, it's not the I think there are a lot of rumors of Douglas Luiz being one of the players. I think Kone from Borussia Mönchengladbach. I didn't expect it to be a loan signing as well. But end of the day, he's in this team now. I feel like if we get him running, because I know he hasn't played so far this season either, if we get him up to speed, we might have a good player on our hands. So the quality is there. It's just, can Klopp make it happen for him? Can he unlock that quality that I've seen him play for Brazil, and even like clips of him at Gremio as well in Brazil? The talent's there. It's just that, can he do it consistently, and can he stay fit? Which is the tale of all of our midfielders in our squad. So that's why there's a lot of Liverpool fans that are disappointed with the sign because of his injury record, and maybe it won't work. But we need an extra body. Let's see how it happens. We weren't going to get Jude Bellingham or anyone like that. So yeah, it is what it is in that regards. But that concludes my match reaction for today. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. In terms of my next episode, I will be doing a match week 5 review on Monday. I think I'll do it. Yep. So Monday, it will be at 10:30 p.m. UK time. So please don't forget to hit the notification bell, and just make sure to tune in. Send your comments. Give me your thoughts on all the games that are happening right now, and that will be happening tomorrow, so we can discuss it collectively on Monday. So yes, thank you again. Take care. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. I hope to see you all soon. Good night.